Hello, Internet. My name is Chamomile.
And I am still plotting my revenge.
Well then.
Oh, there's a safe
Here
tree.
we are. Yeah, Kieran is taking a nap, by the way. He is at full health and full... Let's go ahead and kill this thing before we die.
I do not have nearly as much trouble with the poison mist as you, and I'm playing on a... So, I don't know what's going on. So did the scythe tree in the tabletop have this weird backstory? Like, when we encountered it in the tabletop, it was just a scythe tree, like, and it was part of the Autumn Court, which is something you added, but did it have any... Was it anything other than an enemy?
It did have some kind of connection to a nymph, but I forget what it was.
Away, you rascal. In the tabletop, that triad, the Teresia, so she tried to screw us over. She was part of, like, the Supreme Court, I guess, and she tried to screw us over by misdirecting us. So I fed her to the scythe tree. God damn it, Kieran. Can he get up?
I have no idea what's up with this.
I guess he does just skip his turn.
It won't let me skip his turn either? What the fuck?
This is your punishment for killing old Beldam.
I'll just delay him forever.
This is gonna be fun.
And this game is not Bloodlines. If it is just glitched out all the time, I am not, hunting around for solutions and installing it on new computers and stuff in order to get through it. I am just going to ditch it, and we're going to play probably Mass Effect instead.
Yeah, we've had a run.
Like, this game is already on notice. If this glitch shit gets annoying enough...
Like, I ran into an annoying companion quest that was, I don't know if it was purposely impossible or what, but I've not played since then because it was so annoying.
And this is a long time after release for a game to still be having basic quality of life issues, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm sympathetic to small teams that don't really, they can't really afford a proper beta test, so their beta test just has to be releasing the game and then patching it. But that didn't happen here.
Yeah, they've moved on to making Wrath of the Righteous.
Which I'm
that was a
probably
popular
not going
adventure
to
battle.
buy.
Do we want to
This is
talk
well
about
thought out.
Wrath of the Righteous? As long as it's brought up.
Yeah, sure. Wrath of the Righteous. Before diving into the scene, why don't we just discuss the general concept of epic levels?
Yeah.
See,
They've always worked great in every edition. So,
the first question you need to ask yourself about epic levels is, do you need them? And the answer in 3.x, I feel, is pretty firmly no. Regular old high levels in 3.x are already some pretty insanely powerful shenanigans.
Strike with all your might.
Like, there are a bunch of Norse myths where the big encounter is a bunch of frost giants, and that's like a level 15 adventure.
Stand down.
And like, people always push back on this. They always insist that, oh no, actual mythological gods absolutely have to be level 40. But, then they actually talk to me about it, and there's nothing there. Like, no one has ever been able to point me to a myth that required someone to be higher than about level 15, 16, 17. So, like, high level 3.x doesn't work very well in the first place. But it also depicts, like, godlike mythical adventures already.
Now, you do want to have it built into your system that stuff like Demon Lords, they need to be at a CR that they can be fought.
Yes.
Like, they should not be like CR 30 like they did in the Book of Vile Darkness in 3rd edition.
The highest...
I saw that there was some popular fan material where all the Demon Lords and Archdevils were like CR 30 or whatever, up to like CR 40, and it's like, that's useless. Like, at that point, don't even bother making them a stat block. Ashlyn, don't you dare die.
It's fine, we just have to go and...
Ashlyn and Blevin. There's something that you have not turned off that I turned off because I never dealt with this.
When I look for it in the options menu, it's not there. It's possible that it is only available from the beginning, or it's possible that it is in some obscure tab that I can't find, but...
Pull up the options again.
Maybe in difficulty, that would make sense.
That's it. Turn off Death's Door, and turn on Dead Companions Rise After Combat. Actually, see what Death's Door is first.
Because, yeah, Death's Door is, companions will not die after suffering a deadly injury and will instead receive a Death's Door condition.
Yeah. Turn that off, because you're turning off death entirely.
Alright. We'll see if it is effective retroactively.
Nope.
Oh well. I'll sort them out later.
I turned that off when... So, we'd gone to the, place where you fight Tartuk for the first time, and he's got 2 of the party members you can recruit. I was going to recruit Lindsay, and just immediately everybody on Tartuk's side targeted her and killed her in 1 round before I had an option to do anything. At that point I was like, that's bullshit. I should not have had to deal with that before I even had the option to use her. Like, so I was like, alright, I'm not doing that anymore. But, yes. So you should have your Demon Lords should be like no higher than like CR 25.
Yeah, CR 25 is enough that a level 20 party can fight them as a boss fight. It will be a hell of a boss fight, but it will be doable. Your very most powerful creatures can be as high as that level, assuming level 20 even works in your system, which in 3.x it doesn't especially. The idea that Pathfinder wanted to layer on additional epic level stuff on top of that was kind of ludicrous, and it wasn't even cool epic level stuff. It was mostly just bigger numbers.
And also Mythic has this weird thing where it's not on top of the 20 levels, it's parallel to them. So, what is a CR 5 Mythic rank 1 thing? Like, what does that mean in the CR system? And I don't know. And maybe it's explained, but it's like, that just seems excessively complicated for the sake of being complicated.
Yeah, it's not good.
Like, possibly that translates into a CR, but then it's like, why is that not just their CR?
Yeah. Like, it would be fine if each mythic rank were just like +1 CR, but then you would have to do the actual math on that, which I don't have high confidence in Paizo to have done. like, generally speaking, when I'm speaking in defense of Paizo, what I will say is that...
You've done that?
I mean... being critical of everything all the time gets old. I mean, for my audience. Not particularly for me, but, We're going to go back and do this again. But, when I'm trying to sell people on Pathfinder as a concept, what I sell them on it as is that there are a bunch of different options that aren't necessarily very well balanced, but there are a ton of options to pick from. And, we've talked about how, given that they had a decade to do this, and, given the size of their operation, they probably didn't accomplish as much as they should have, but they have... That is their selling point. Yep, Kiernan's still asleep.
Amazing. What about the other ones?
I dare you.
And they're not even on the map, so...
That's probably fine.
I mean, if we
He's
TPK
funny.
because half of our party just won't wake up, then I'm calling it.
You offend me.
The only thing is we've got so many D&D topics that we could still talk about, so it's going to be weird talking about a lot of D&D while we're playing Mass Effect, but I think that's fine.
And I also... Then the other thing is that I anticipate... Oh, hey, the troll actually uses 2 claw attacks with different hands. I guess they saw our episode and patched that in.
Is Alcat Games our viewer?
For all we know. Seems likely. But yeah, I also... Yep, we're doing this again. Okay. So we're playing Dragon Age now. Welcome back, Internet.
Yeah, welcome back. The quality of life issues were continuing to... I've been doing a separate playthrough, and I hit a point where it was really frustrating, and I stopped even playing. So we just have given up, and, Dragon Age is basically the same as Kingmaker.
Yeah, I do think the volume is a little bit off. I'm going to turn that down.
Do we need to start over?
No. Excuse me, it may have been slightly annoying hearing our intro, but our intro is mostly us being annoyed, so I think that works out.
Feel our pain.
The dwarven kingdoms were the first to fall, and from the deep roads, the darkspawn drove at us again.
But yeah, if you haven't played
We neared annihilation.
Dragon Age Origins, this 2008 game yet, then the Darkspawn are the bad guys. Just gonna, quickly summarize.
Origins and Mass Effect are kind of I would say the high point of BioWare.
The Grey War
Yeah.
After Mass Effect 2, they started to go downhill. Dragon Age 2 is just an exercise in depression. Mass Effect 3 had a bunch of issues, and then since then, there's just Inquisition is just so boring. And nobody liked Andromeda, and I don't think any person on Earth, including the developers, has played Anthem.
For all we know, it's very good. For all anyone knows. Yeah, this is around 2008, I want to say. You can see they're very enamored of the idea of having a bloody fantasy melee.
It has been 4 centuries since
Yeah, even though this is before
kept our vigil.
the Game of Thrones TV show, they have cited the Game of Thrones book series, I guess Song of Ice and Fire book series, as an influence. This is when sort of dark, more grounded fantasy was very popular especially in video games and in the written world.
Yeah, I mean, the last Lord of the Rings movie had come out 5 years ago, so we had plenty of people sort of imitating that.
May even be too
That was the standard for fantasy for.
seen with my own eyes. But mine
Dragon Age and Skyrim both cite Game of Thrones as an influence, and again, not Game of Thrones, the TV series, but the book series. Dragon Age actually, they said that Conan was supposed to be an influence, but especially in this
That's-
first one, I don't think you really see it.
Yeah, it doesn't come through to me at all. Like, I guess the idea that Conan is dark and gritty, which is an idea that people say it's not true.
They cut out the barbarian origin, so I wonder if they were Conan-esque. Now, what do we want to do for our character?
That is a good question.
I have a potential idea, but
Because yeah, we are walking into this with a lot less planning than normal. Ordinarily, you know, we have a sort of a so yeah, ordinarily we sort of come into it with a lot of planning that we've done in advance of like, oh yeah, we're coming to the end of one game, we're talking about what we're gonna do with the other. We did not do that for this one, you know. We vaguely had in our heads that we might want to do Mass Effect after Kingmaker, and then Kingmaker was a bust, so we were like, hey, how about instead of Mass Effect, we do Dragon Age? And here we are. So,
Dragon Age is going to let us talk about a lot of what we were planning on talking about with Kingmaker, and we'll hopefully not have, you know, the endless quality of life.
yeah. The worst case scenario for Dragon Age is that the game itself is so engaging that we end up talking about that a lot, and thus we don't end up getting to our long, long list of sewer level topics that we prepared for Kingmaker. But yeah, so what's your idea? We'll probably just go with that, because I'm drawing a blank.
It's a little inside baseball, and we might have to cut out this conversation.
So, after several off-screen deliberations with Requiem's lawyer, we have settled on a character who I am legally obligated to inform you is definitely not a werewolf.
Yeah, definitely. Keep in mind that my lawyer has no physical body. He could be anywhere at any.
So, I mean, the problem here is that, like, in honor of our dearly departed Kingmaker run, we are going to have our protagonist be a twink here. But, no matter what we do, he's going to have BioWare face, so 2008 was not kind to facial animation.
Yeah, probably change his hair at least.
That's as much as I can zoom out, huh? Okay.
One of those mid-length ones, probably. Right, should we change the hair color?
I don't know. Do you think we should?
I mean, there might be a slightly brighter shade. Like that. Or that. As long as we're doing that, go back to skin and put it on the palest setting. Did we give him a tattoo?
Yeah, sure. I think giving him a tattoo is...
They've got those facial tattoos. I think you gotta have an actual tattoo to do tattoo color. I like that left one.
This one?
One more. That one.
So this, yeah, it's a maximum intensity over there, but really not feeling the intensity. I was hoping for something like bright blue woad paint, but
Yeah, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
I think we need to change his eyes to blue, obviously. It's canon.
I can
Can't we
barely
tell?
tell what color those are.
Yeah, they're kind of orange right now. That looks green. We might have to go green just because I cannot tell otherwise. Like, I've got my space right on the screen. That's fine. That's the best we're gonna do, probably.
We're not going to be looking too closely at this guy's face. Like, his eye color will make a difference.
I think that's all we really need. Like, he looks fine. Alright, now which voice? Cocky is calling out to me.
How do you do? Right.
Nah,
Focus.
that's not a twink voice.
Yeah, bear in mind that this is BioWare's idea of cocky.
Greetings. Well, that didn't work. My
Yeah.
weapon isn't working. Greetings.
No.
Blast it! I've lost the spell. Charm, I'm sure.
No.
And now BioWare's idea of suave.
Greetings. Oh, my spell!
This doesn't sound violent at all.
My weapon does nothing.
Okay, as a violent person, I am personally offended.
I have lost the spell.
But I think that's kind of the best of the six.
The violent one?
Yeah.
I'm strongly
not
tempted
being
to
violent.
take suave. Just on the one hand, that would be funny for like this episode, but it would not be funny to do an entire playthrough with it, and we can't edit this later on. So
Yeah.
That's right,
give him
we
the
can't
but
edit
spell
his
spell it
last
weird.
name.
We're gonna spell it weird. It's gonna be Sheyn. That's kind of an elf name, right?
So this is what I want for his last name, but we can't do his last name. So there's not enough room for it
No.
anywhere.
No, no.
Not a werewolf. All right, there we go. Shane. Watch,
That name has no significance whatsoever. Let's move on.
you're gonna get published halfway through this playthrough. Just you watch.
I hope so.
We're gonna finish editing it, and like the next day, they're gonna be like, "We are sending this to presses immediately."
Honestly, like, if that happens, I will talk to Judge Jude about getting your restraining order rescinded.
Wait, you have a restraining order?
Yeah, that prevents you from spreading lies about me.
Can restraining orders do that? I thought they just had to be about physical interaction.
I mean, we're in Arkansas. They can do anything.
I looked up a guide for this when I played Dragon Age Origins 5-6 years ago.
Should I pull up a guide?
Well, that's the thing. Do we have to pull up a guide? Is Dragon Age that hard? I don't remember it being that hard, but then I was following a guide, so maybe that was the trick.
I mean, let's.
Let's err on the side of caution.
Yeah, I don't want to. Right. Basic. Dragon Age warrior build, I guess.
Yeah. Just watch, you're gonna pop it open. Whatever you do, don't take City off. It's practically unplayable. I don't think I ever played the City off Origin.
It's not telling me. I can't find one that tells you the ability score to pump. I assume it's strength.
Yeah, I was just gonna split between Strength and Constitution, so you know, fine.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops, wrong one.
We're gonna play on Easy Baby mode, so
Right.
I mean, we can get that one skill up to 2, so might as well, right?
Yeah, broadly speaking, it's usually better to max out the thing you're good at. Pretty sure that's what I did last time, too. I dimly recall having this screen, like, split into bands. It would be totally maxed out before I
I
hit
don't
the other
remember.
one.
Now, what kind of
I may have also been playing it modded now that I think about it. I can't remember. It's been way too long since I played this game. I ran into the same problem with Bloodlines. But, you know, this game was actually good, so doing, like, another playthrough on the side is like I do with Bloodlines. Like, I might actually do that.
Now, dual weapon is the type of fighting style that doesn't really work, but teenage boys are really into.
For no reason.
It looks like you already start with a point in there.
One of those. One of those, we're just basically gonna.
Easy baby mode.
Yes. Is there a lower difficulty mode than easy? You've not had good luck with trying to dazzle our audience with our skill.
Something about being on camera makes both of us immediately start sucking at video games. Like, with World of Horror, I did terrible. Like, normally I play on normal mode, and I barely was able to win on easy mode.
With World of Horror, I think just the bad luck of getting that, the anti-bath curse early on.
Yeah, that's a run killer. Because, like, immediately after that, I went and played again on my own, on normal mode.
The largest city and capital of Ferelden. Long ago, the elves lived as slaves to humans, and though they've been free for many generations now, they are far from equals.
That's a little on the nose.
Here they live in a walled-off community known as the Alienage, working as servants and laborers when they can. Despite these hardships,
This is very 2008 graphics.
Yeah.
These were, admittedly, these were not even stunning graphics.
Yeah, no. These are like 2006 graphics that were barely acceptable even in 2008.
Wake up, cousin. Why are you still in bed? It's your big day.
The standard RPG opening of being asked to wake up by someone who knows you personally.
Number one is the obvious choice.
Come on, don't make me use cold water again. You do remember what today is, don't you?
With this character, what a viewer needs to imagine is it's being played by somebody who does not want to be playing the game.
No, you idiot, you're getting married today. And so is Stu.
Oh my god, the GM has just sprung.
You brought her a tiara?
Just immediately.
A marriage alliance.
And who else are you going to marry? Besides, I already snuck a peek. She's beautiful.
You don't know me, do you?
Music, decorations, feasting. Weddings are so much fun. You're so lucky.
I wonder if you get to... I know in the noble origin you can have your character hook up with somebody of the same sex.
I'm just glad I got to be the one to tell you.
Like, I wonder if you can be, like, dragging your feet on this and explicitly have it because your character's gay.
Oh,
We're gonna find out.
waiting for you outside, so move it.
Well, I say we're gonna find out. If the game throws that option in our face, we will take it. We will not look for it very hard.
Now, the
That's
one
right,
issue
this is
that
real.
has weighed on Dragon Age is you could tell that BioWare really wanted to do it for computers and just have it be an isometric game, but they all were kind of forced into having it.
Yeah. This was right during the peak of the dark age of console ports.
So there's a lot of console stuff weighing it down, and that has been an issue for the Dragon Age since day one, and it's only gotten worse. And like, Dragon Age Inquisition was just, the gameplay was absolutely miserable. Like, they're also trying to be Skyrim.
Chantry issued the permit, and everything worked out fine.
I don't want to get married.
Probably the biggest factor is deciding which spouse travels to which area. One side gets new.
See, I took number 2 because I was doing our standard thing where we gormlessly ask questions about the setting our character allegedly lives in.
I understand. Before I met Adaya, I was ready to go hunt for the day.
Is that an option? Because we'll go do that.
I don't think you do understand the nature of our objection.
Whoever the elder. What other prospects are there here? Do you want to marry someone 15 years your senior? I thought not. All right, time for you to go first.
Okay, wait, the character's like what, 20? So the 30, you're threatening him with like a 35-year-old.
Still have your mother's smart mouth. Oh, one last thing before you go, son.
Don't call me son. You're dead to me.
GM's getting very personal here. Like there's some kind of insider baseball stuff. None of this is going to be obvious until Requiem actually does get his novel out there, but regardless of the fact that it probably won't make sense to the person watching this.
It's something that we have to hang the playthrough on. And there is one of these quests that it's gonna be majorly relevant.
Our world is full of so many injustices. Take this. Your mother would have...
Oh, and the classic BioWare handoff.
It's the very least...
Yep.
They just sort of move their shoulder at you while they're on a close-up. Don't actually see their hand.
Like, you may see their elbow bend if the angle is just right.
You'll be happy to know that in Dragon Age Inquisitions, they still have not mastered the art of having a character. There's this one scene where the one character is drinking from a cup of like wine, and the cup is like levitating over his face, just sort of like in front of it, and then he moves his hand up and pulls it down. It's amazing. And it's an important cutscene, so how do they not catch it during playtesting?
Right? Like, I mean, you know, have some QA intern watch all the cutscenes and see if anything is weird. Seems like something you should be able to do. Like that seems like some pretty basic testing for a company the size of BioWare, right? Like,
This is some weird rhyme.
We made love in the sea. We made love on the shore. I was just there for playing, but she wanted more. But there's one small problem, you see. I can't grant her wish. My wife gets suspicious when I come home smelling like fish.
actually wasn't bad. So I have indeed not played this Origin before. This is actually my first time with the City Elf.
I've only played Dalish and Mage.
Cool. So neither of us have a goddamn clue where to go next.
Well, if it isn't my lucky cousin. Care to celebrate the end of our independence together?
It's running away still an option.
Where would you go? Into the woods to live with the Dalish elves?
Yes, that sounds like a
Yes.
really good idea. It could happen.
Live in the forest with the savages far from humans? Sounds like a dream. Not that we
And,
would run. Besides, why would you run? Apparently your bride's a dream come true. Mine sounds like a dying mouse.
We haven't come out to anyone.
next 50 years with a nice girl who hides grain away for the winter. Let's go introduce you to your dreamy betrothed before you say I do.
Alms.
Was that elf's name Elva?
Yep.
A bit of charity this day. My lord, can you spare a coin for a man down on his luck?
Do I look like a lord?
I worked on the docks, living day to
Do I
day.
literally not have a single coin?
My family would go hungry. The humans always left us the dangerous work, in the high beams of the warehouses or in the water. I was rigged up, leaning the side of a ship, when it drifted against another, and my legs were crushed between.
They look all right to me.
The human foreman had me hauled out and dumped in an alley.
The human foreman, whose name was Truman. Truman the human.
Now I live on the charity of those who don't even have enough for themselves.
Apparently I have literally no money.
My blessings to you on your big day there, young one.
I didn't tell him I was getting married.
Now we just need to find Orf the dwarf.
And Larkdon.
Let go of me! Stop, please!
It's a party, isn't it? Grab a whore and have a good time.
I think they might be bad guys.
Somewhere the hunt, boys. Take this little elven wench here. So young and vulnerable.
Touch me and I'll gut you, you pig!
Please, my lord. We're celebrating weddings here.
Silence, worm!
I know what you're thinking, but maybe we shouldn't get involved.
I want a combat
We should
encounter.
absolutely get involved.
What's this?
Absolutely not.
Two grooms come to welcome me personally.
Okay, I realize you've probably known me for several years, but who are you again?
Ha! You hear that, Vaughn?
Ha! Do you have any idea who I am?
None.
Alright, now let's take all his stuff.
This is Vaughn Orion, the Olive Veteran's son.
What? Oh, Maker.
Well, better kill the witnesses then.
You've a lot of nerve, Night Beers. This'll go badly for you.
Only if you get away alive.
Oh, I really messed
Why
up
are
this
we...
time.
It'll be all right. He won't tell anyone in Elven Woman.
Look at me. No one will refer to me by my actual name. I'm
I should get cleaned up.
Is everybody else all right?
I think we're just shaking. What was that about?
Looks like the Jarl's son started drinking too early. Well, let's not let this...
No, clearly, like we're playing a city elf, but clearly we've been planning to run away and join the Dalish for years. Like we went and got the Dalish face tattoo. Like we've clearly been planning to run away at the first.
So is Shane going to be a total asshole to his betrothed? I mean, he's definitely in that kind of mood, but I don't know. Doesn't seem like it's her fault.
I guess option number 2.
Yeah, let's go neutral on this.
Sources said so much of you. Some even positive.
Don't get me in trouble, Nessiara. We'll leave you two alone now.
Please don't. No, no.
Here we are. Are you nervous?
I want to die.
Nervous is not the right word. Sort of nauseated, actually.
My stomach is full.
Probably for different reasons.
Are you saying you don't want to marry me?
Yes.
I just don't want to get married at all.
I see. Well, I hope
It's unlikely.
Let them be ready.
They've tried. There've been attempts at that by different people, and it generally doesn't work out.
Don't look now, but we have another problem.
Is Vaughn, has he returned? God, please tell me he's returned. We need to kill him. Like, I don't even mean, like, because of how terrible he is. I just mean as a basic cleaning up the witnesses.
Another human just walked in. Could be one of Vaughn's or just a random troublemaker.
Okay, this guy looks like actually mildly intimidating, so...
Someone does some
Why don't you go talk to him?
I'm going to say not 3 because we don't know if he's with Vaughn.
Let's do this quickly.
Where the hell is he? The camera seemed to be implying he was right in front of us a second ago, but...